listen, man, I'm just excited that, life is good, I'm doing what I love to do in the response, and sort of like it's been a renaissance in the culture a little bit, where I feel like my fans is a lot of nostalgia because cats grew up with me, you know what I'm saying? Like I raised you.
Big facts.
You feel me?
Taught me how to be a player.
I taught you how to be a player.
Why get it from anywhere else? Well, you can get it straight from the yacht with Promise.
It's not a threat, it's a promise.
Yo, what it do? You know who it is and what it is. She got Promise. Appreciate you tapping in to another episode of Straight from the Yacht with Promise. Brand new podcast sponsored by Nicolay Law. And I'm kicking it in the Yap House. So appreciate you coming through the vibe out with me. But I gotta get relaxed. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the crib and I got an amazing episode for you today. I got a special guest coming through, but it's a little different. He's not in the studio. I recently had the chance to catch up with the legendary Bill Bellamy. You know this dude from MTV Jams, Cousin Skeeter, How to Be a Player, stand-up specials, movies, all of that, man. Recently had a chance to catch up with him backstage at one of his shows when I had the chance to open up for him. So he's not in the studio, but I'm gonna tell you how it all came together because it's a crazy story. Plus, I'm gonna tell you about our relationship, how we linked up, and how we even got a chance to connect. But before all of that, again, I'm in the Yap House, you hanging out with me, I gotta get relaxed. Hello, neighbor. I'm gonna take these fresh Air Force Ones off, AKA Dookies, and I'm gonna hop up on this couch, and I'm gonna get ready to vibe out with you. So again, appreciate you coming through the vibe out with me, and make sure you subscribe, like, comment on the page, and stay tapped into everything we got going on at the Yap House, Straight from the Yap. Now, there's something I used to do when I had my radio show called PSAs, Promise Service Announcements, and I feel like it'll be the perfect time to bring that thing back here on the new platform. So check this out. PSA, Promise Service Announcement. Change your battery and your smoke detector. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You trying to be cute, flexing on the gram, posting videos, and all we hear in the background is, yeah, you can't even get a sentence out. You trying to post something, you trying to do something, and all we hear in the background is you on the phone, having a business conference, having a Zoom, having a meeting, and in the background all we hear is, change the battery in that goddamn smoke detector. I know I'm talking to somebody, and it just might be you. This has been a PSA Promise Service Announcement. You did. All right, now again, I told you, I got a dope episode for you today. The one and only Bill Bellamy is going to be a guest, but before we get into that interview, I gotta tell you how this thing all came together. This is the time where, I hadn't told everybody about the podcast coming out yet, but in my head, I'm like, yo, I gotta find a way to get B on the show, even though we hadn't really even started filming nothing yet. But I was just like, I got this new podcast coming out. Don't nobody know about it. I gotta find a way to try to talk to B and try to get him on the pod. So I ended up texting T. I remember telling him like, yo, crazy thing is you kind of suggested it almost a year ago, and like, I'm really about to do this podcast. He like, man, congratulations, bro. We proud of you. You super talented. Like, do your thing. So he's like, I ain't coming to the mill this time with B, but I'll run it past him. I'm like, yeah, just hit him, let him know what I'm trying to do. And then I text Bill as well. So once he gets to town, it was crazy because like I had hit him to try to like see what the play was, not even to perform or nothing. I'm just trying to figure out how can I get him to come to this new space that I got, you know what I'm saying? Come to the Yap House, come pull up on me. And it was crazy like trying to get him that day because he had so much going on. He was doing press other places. And when he finally texted me back, he like, Pete, what's up? What's the podcast? What's going on? So I'm like, it don't exist yet, but I'm trying to get you to, kind of christen and do the joint for me. So it's like, long story short, it just really didn't work out, right? To where we couldn't get B to pull up to the space. But, my brain is always running. I'm always thinking of things. So I remember talking to the squad and specifically to, my engineer, Cam Beats. I'm just like, man, what if we go portable? Like, what if we bring this spot to him? If he can't come to the Yap House, what if we do it portable? So we just do some improv shit, really without having a green light from him, because he really hadn't gave me an answer or not. We just like, let's try it. So that night before, I had opened up for him, and it was a good vibe. And the next night, they was like, yo, you coming back? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come back and rock. So I didn't even really want to perform. I mean, I always want to perform, but my goal was to try to get him on the pod. So anyway, we go on set, we kick it in the green room, and we trying to get him to do the pod while we there. And so he's like, man, there's too many people in the damn green room. Where we gonna shoot this at? And we like, you Bill Bellamy, this your dressing room. You could tell everybody get out, and we can record in here because it's well lit. It's got good lighting in here, and he really wasn't trying to shoot it in there. So what ends up happening is we go into like a hall that's in the Improv. And it wasn't the quietest because it was probably like 15 minutes before the show starts. Mind you, I'm getting ready to go open for him again. But we had a little window, you know, we grabbed some couple mics and we basically shot an impromptu interview and had some fun with him, you know, backstage before I got ready to rock with him. So you're gonna get a chance to see the conversation between myself and Bill Bellamy backstage before we performed at the Improv in Milwaukee recently. So let's check it out. I'm sitting next to a man who needs no introduction, the living legend, movies, TV, stand-up, the one and only Bill Bellamy. Bill, what's good, my boy?
Man. Hey, man, listen, man. I'm just excited that, you know, life is good. You know, I'm doing what I love to do in the response. And sort of like, it's been a renaissance in the culture a little bit, you know, where I feel like my fans, it's a lot of nostalgia because cats grew up with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I raised you.
Big facts.
You feel me?
Taught me how to be
I taught you how to be a player. You feel me? He ain't know what he was doing until he met me. So I'm playing with you.
But no, this is a full circle moment too because, you know, the first time I ever met you, we backstage here at the Improv in Milwaukee. First time I ever met you was here.
Yes, sir.
A couple years ago, I got to interview you and I had my radio show.
Absolutely.
I came down, watched you do your thing. Met you and Terrence, you know what I'm saying? Ever since then, stayed in contact.
Oh, yeah. And I remember, what I remember vividly about that interview was you saying that, you know, you didn't want to do radio forever.
Yeah.
And you were like, yo, B, man, I'm a comedian. This is my, like, kind of day job thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, can I tell them what happened?
Come on, speak on it.
So this is so crazy. This goes to show you how fate works, right?
Over a year ago.
Just over a year ago, I'm at the radio station. You say, yo, B, man, I want to really, really get out there and do my comedy thing for real, for real. I said, well, you know you're going to have to step out on faith. I know you got this day job and this, that, and the other. So you hook me up with the barbershop.
Yeah.
I go to the barbershop. You standing out there and you like, yo, they canceled my show today. So you had no choice.
You was my last guest.
I was your last guest.
Morning grind with
Welcome to the game, boy.
Last guest ever.
See, you ain't even. And then I'm gonna tell you what I remember so dope about that moment.
Yeah.
You wasn't angry or nothing.
Nah.
You was like, oh, this is good. Cause now I can do what I really want to do.
But you know, it was crazy. It was the highs of highs, lowest of low.
Okay.
You had just early that morning, before I know I was gonna get laid off.
Right.
You gave me the opportunity to come open for you.
Absolutely.
So I'm on high. Then when I find out I get canned, I'm like, damn. But I'm like, I gotta lock in.
Yes, sir.
I can't let this moment define me. I gotta go rock tonight.
Yes.
So I remember, like, I didn't even want to tell you. Shout out to the homie GA.
Yeah,
He's like,
GA.
He said, you gotta tell B. You gotta tell him. So remember, we take you to the barbershop. I tell you what happened. And you like, man, don't even worry about that. Come perform tonight. And I remember that last night, because I rocked you, remember that whole weekend.
Yes, sir.
You sat me down, you talked to me that last night. You said, I don't know why this happened to you. I don't know why I was here when it happened.
Yes.
But you like, but everything happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
You're gonna be all right. And shout out to T, your manager, because T was like, dude, you do a podcast. Fuck it, if it happened, do.
Yeah.
At the time, but I'm like, it's so fresh, my head scrambled. So I'm happy to announce that we're gonna drop the news, B, they don't know. I got a brand
So we doing it?
B, official.
Look at that.
Straight from the Yacht with Promise, brand new podcast.
Come on, y'all.
2026, we gonna do it big.
It's the guy, man. I
Come
love
on,
this
dude.
kid, man. It's a good dude, man, you know. And I'm glad to hear stories like this because I lived that moment with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You were part of my story forever, B.
Absolutely, man. And it happens, you know, for God doesn't make mistakes. And I think what was so pivotal about that moment was you had to decide what you want more.
Yeah.
Did you want to be laid off or you want to get busy?
Yeah.
Like laid off is just it's a mentality.
Yeah.
But you wasn't laid off. You was free to do what you want to do.
To keep grinding.
Keep grinding.
And by that layoff, blessings in disguise. Shout out to Nicolay Law, our sponsor.
Yes.
Was sponsoring the radio station, found out what happened, helped set up the podcast deal.
And now
so
let's
I
go.
lost one area, but
Got
I
another
gained so
one.
much. Come on now.
Come on, won't he do it?
Now, B, before I let you go, you know, we did this on the radio. We got to do it on camera now.
Okay.
Got to play first and last.
First and last.
I ask the first, I ask the last. The man may not be connected. You ready?
Okay, go.
First and last with legendary Bill Bellamy. Bill, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Thank God for another day.
Amen.
Yes.
Totally respect that. All right, B.
We just talked about it earlier. It's a classic. I got the DVD still at the crib. I gotta have you sign it.
Okay.
B, when's the last time you watched How to Be a Player?
Last time I watched How to Be a Player was maybe 2 years ago.
Word.
And it was on one of the platforms, and I just
Bounce TV?
it what was so dope, because you know the first beginning of the movie is James Brown.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a shower, I'm shaving in the
Yeah.
mirror, I'm getting ready for my day,
Yeah.
and I just remember how much fun I had making that movie, because really, How to Be a Player is just the best day ever.
Yeah.
If you were to change the title, it's called The Best Day Ever.
Okay.
Because that was how I was feeling. I'm having the best day ever.
Yeah.
All my chicks is coming to see me.
Yeah.
My boys
You
is
going to
with
see
me.
them?
I'm going to see them, and they home, right? And so I watched it, man, and I see why people like it. It's a very, wonderful movie to enjoy.
And you had so many amazing, beautiful women for castmates. You know what I'm saying? You had a roster, boy.
My roster was clean.
Your roster
That's why
was
the
clean.
poster was nuts.
Man.
Damn.
But then you was bogus. You got your homies sitting in the car while you
Yeah,
getting the
because they
skins.
wasn't players though.
But come on, B.
But they couldn't, because they're gonna sit and be loud if they was in the apartment. That's why I made them sit in the car. I had a new Thunderbird. You ain't like the little Thunderbird?
Yeah, the drop top.
Little drop top Thunderbird. Yeah, I had them out there listening to the rail radio. We ain't had no cassettes back then. But this is in there. We can push it.
Dude, classic. All right, B. When is the first time you realized you were famous? You've been doing this a long time, bro.
Wow. I think the first time I realized I was famous was right after I did Def Comedy Jam.
Word, that
People
early?
didn't know my face, but they knew I was Bellamy. They would be like, yo, you my man, hold on. You my man Ralph Bellamy? Or they would say, yo, you Bill Big DeVoe? They was anything with a bad. Yeah, I was in New Edition, right? And the big blow up, like from that point, was MTV, because I was on the TV every day.
Okay.
And everybody used to say, you Bill Bellamy, you Bill Bellamy.
Yeah, okay. Bill, last one. What's the last job you worked before you got into the entertainment industry? Like, what was your last regular job?
I was working in marketing. So I was what they call a regional marketing manager. This was my job that I got out of school, and I worked for a tobacco company at that time, and it was like it was a really good job actually. I had company car, expense account. I had 8 sales reps under me.
Okay.
Because I had gotten a degree in marketing and economics, so I kind of got in a mid-level managerial job.
Okay.
In sales, so I was doing pretty good, and but I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. Like I was like, I like marketing, but not like this. I'd rather work for me.
You want to market yourself?
Yeah, market Bill Bellamy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, that's crazy. B, as always, bro, I appreciate the energy and the time that you give me.
Oh, yes.
Bro, the pointers you give me, the game, you give me the conversations. Sometimes it just trips me out that I look at my phone, I'm like, dog, I got Bill Bellamy number.
Yes,
I know Bill
sir.
Bellamy, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, listen, bro. I always tell people this. I'm gonna leave this with you. Your gift make room for you. So the gift is your black card. Your gift is your access to your dreams and to the people within that dream. So your love for comedy put you in the world to meet me.
Yeah.
Now, if you was in the world of being the best janitor, you would have met a dope ass janitor. Brooms McGee with a bunch of keys, Nick.
Hey, B, make sure you give out the social media if they not following you.
Oh, okay. Hey, y'all, man, stay tapped in with your boy Bill Bellamy. On Instagram, it's at Bill Bellamy. On Threads, it's Bill Bellamy. On TikTok, it's Bill Bellamy. Like, just know the name, know the game. You feel me?
Man, legend, I appreciate you, my
All day.
brother.
One
Y'all
love.
know we got more coming for you. Brand new podcast, straight from the Apple Promises on deck. And you already know, it's not a threat, it's a promise. Get it!
Boom! I like that.
Great
It's not a
stuff,
threat,
man.
it's a promise. That's
So probably like 3 years ago, I had the pleasure of interviewing Bill. Now, I had my morning show. Bill was in LA, I was in Milwaukee. There was a time zone difference. So he wasn't able to come to the city and do the interview ahead of time. So we set it up virtually, we did the interview. And it was dope. It was my first time getting a chance to talk to him. Obviously, I had been a fan of his work from before, but truly, I didn't really know B from stand-up. Like when I was a kid, I remember seeing him on MTV, seeing him in music videos, knew he was the voice of Cousin Skeeter on Nickelodeon, stuff like that. Of course, How to Be a Player, classic films. But I didn't really know about his stand-up bag. Like, I knew back in the day he had did Def Comedy Jam, but that was before my time, so I never really had seen him do stand-up. But I do remember he had the, like, Who's Got Jokes show. So I knew he did his thing in stand-up, but I really knew him from film and from television. So when we chopped it up, we had a good conversation. It was just good energy. And, after doing the interview, B was like, yo, when I come to town, like, pull up to the show, you know what I'm saying, come through. So I was like, cool, appreciate it. So about a week later, he comes to the mill, and I go to see him when he's at the Improv performing. And after the show, he comes out, we meet, and in person, and he's like, yo, the old man still got it? And I'm like, absolutely, bro. I'm like, you funny as hell, like, never seen you do stand-up live before. You did your thing. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. And Bill runs with his road manager, Terrence, T. And when you meet T kind of got like an intimidating personality. Like, he a real tall, big bald head dude, and his demeanor is just like no bullshit. But he cool once you get to know him, and if he rock with you, he gonna let you in. But when I'm first meeting him, like, I don't know how to read him right away. But T basically said to me like, yo, Bill might want to go get some food or go check out some spots while we in town. Take my number and text me some stuff we can check out while we here. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. So I sent T the information. Now, the type of person I am, I got my days where I can be aggressive and I can involve myself in things, and the other times I'll fall back and I'll be more reserved. So this time I didn't insert myself. I wasn't like, yo, I could take y'all here or tell you where to go, do this, do that. I just text the information over and I dipped out of the club, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know where they ended up going, what they did or didn't do while they was in town that weekend, but that was kind of that. But I kept Terrence's number, and I didn't have any direct contact with Bill, but I'm like, if I got his manager information, I know somehow I got access to him. So probably like maybe a few months to a year go by, and I just would text T here and there just to tap in, like, yo, how you doing, bro? Y'all on the road? How's things going? Just kind of staying in the loop with him. And T is based in Atlanta, and Bill is based on the West Coast, but obviously they travel and they do a lot of shows and events together. But I would just stay in the loop and just kind of tap in with him here and there, just to kind of see how he was doing. He would respond, just kind of keep that line of communication open. So fast forward to a few months later, they actually was getting ready to come back to Milwaukee for like a Mother's Day show. We wasn't able to link that time, but again, just keeping that communication, networking is key in this industry, just to keep your relationships open and to grow your surroundings and your circle. So another time comes up where B getting ready to come back to the city in the fall. So I reach out to Terrence and I'm like, yo, we did a virtual interview. I would love to get a chance to have B come to the station, in person to do this interview. So we trying to figure out a way to set it up to make it happen. Long story short, B is a morning guy. I don't know that he an early dude. He like to get up early. And at the time I had a morning show. So I didn't know if he'd be willing to come and do the show early and live. And he was like, yeah, he would do it. So it's like, all right, bet. So we set it up for B, to come and to do the show. So I had never told Bill that I did stand-up comedy, or that I had aspirations to do it. The first time we chopped it up, only thing I talked to him about is I was curious how he got into acting. Because, early back in the day, he used to do VJing, or, he was a host on MTV, and he would host a lot of different things. So I said, bro, how did you end up getting into the MTV gig and things like that? He said, well, when I was first doing comedy in Jersey, I had a manager at the time. He said, my manager told me that I should take some acting classes. He said, so from taking the acting classes, I ended up getting booked with MTV. Obviously, we know the rest is history. He does How to Be a Player. He do the movie Brothers and all these other films. And that's kind of how he got his feet in that area. So I told him at the time, I said, bro, I really been thinking about taking some acting classes, but I haven't done it yet. And he like, don't even think about it. Like, just do it. It'll be something else to have in your bag. Now, again, at this time, he only know that I'm doing, radio. He has no idea about me trying to do stand-up or anything like that. So fast forward, we get a chance to do the interview. He comes to the station, and it's a dope-ass moment. You know what I mean? I get to tell him full circle, like, B, I ended up taking the acting classes, and he's like, that's what's up. That's great. So I'm talking to him. We having a dope conversation. He's only supposed to be there for like 30 minutes. Terrence don't come to the station with him, but Terrence is like, yo, he only supposed to be there for 30 minutes. Like, let B come in there and do his thing, let him get out of there. Man, Bill stayed for like a whole hour. You know what I'm saying? So we do an entire interview for an hour live on the radio. He acting a fool. We taking callers. Like, we just having a great time. So the homie GA, and if you go back and you watch episode or listen to episode 1, if you're not watching us on YouTube, you go back and listen to episode 1 of the pod. GA and I kind of talk a little bit about kind of what happened on this day, because it was like one of the best and worst days ever. So we had this amazing interview with Bill, and while we live on the radio, he says, yo, you pulling up to the Improv tonight? Because he's performing in Improv Milwaukee. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to come to the show. I'm going to come check you out. And he like, nah, I'm not talking about, you coming to see me. He said, are you going to do your thing on stage? And in my head, I'm trying to think like, how the hell do Bill know I do stand-up? I don't remember ever telling him I did comedy. I don't remember telling T that. So I don't know if they looked on my social media or really even how they knew that. But they, knew I did comedy for some reason. And Bill kind of has the story mixed up because he says that in the story, he's basically saying that I told him that I wanted to do stand-up, but he got it mixed up. I actually never told him that. So anyway, live on the air, he's like, I want to see you do your thing tonight. You gonna pull up? And I'm like, man, the clip stay loaded. Like, absolutely, it'd be an honor. So he gives me the blessing to say, yo, you gonna come and you gonna perform, at the Improv for me tonight. So I'm geeked this opportunity to open up for Bill Bellamy, to be in front of his audience, to gain a new audience, like let people see me do my thing. We live on the radio at the time. My show is popping. So I'm on cloud 10, you know what I'm saying? I'm elated, not cloud 9. I said I'm on 10. Fast forward, GA dips, Bill asks us a place to get some breakfast, you know what I'm saying? He go about his business. I'm thinking like, all right, cool, I'm gonna see him later. The craziest thing happens, and we talked about it a little bit on that earlier episode. Man, I get laid off that same day. So you talk about being on the highest of the high and the lowest of the low. Like, I just find out that I'm opening for a huge comedian and getting a chance to be on his platform, but at the same time, I just lost my job. And it's crazy when you lose your job when you didn't do shit wrong. It's one thing if you know you was slacking off, you know you ain't been on your JO, so you lose your job, you like, it is what it is, I'm gonna hold the L. Losing your job when you doing well at it and you have a #1 show and they gotta pay you a bonus out is just crazy. So, lose my gig or whatever, I'm frustrated, but at the same time, I can't even really be mad or be dwelling in it because I have to lock in and know I got to perform later that night. So my emotions is all over the place. So, you know what I'm saying? I end up traveling up with GA. We talk about what happens. And this is where the story gets crazy. So me and GA are in the parking lot of Starbucks, which is probably a few blocks from the station. We just stand in the parking lot. We're not even in the building. We just in the parking lot just looking at each other like, what the hell just happened? Like, how did we just lose our jobs? We tripping. So we in there chilling in the parking lot, just kind of going through the motions. And G like, yo, let's go inside. I'm not a coffee dude at all. I don't drink coffee. But G like, man, I got to get something. So I go in there with him. He like, man, let me buy you an energy drink. Let me buy you something. We just got to kind of figure out what's going on. So I get a drink. He gets something. We sitting down at the table in Starbucks just kind of like laughing, but just being like, how the hell did this just happen? At the same time, still geeked up about this opportunity to perform with Bill later tonight. So we sitting at the table talking, and I get a text message from a number that I don't have in my phone. And if you listened to earlier, I told you I never had contact with Bill directly. I only would talk to his manager, T. Never had B's number ever. I get a text message. It's like, it's Bill. Like, yo, it's Bill. So I look at the phone. I'm like, what's good? He like, yo, I need a cut. You know where I can get a haircut? And in my head, I'm like, what? Now, when I seen him earlier that day, now that I think about it, he had a Yankee fitted on. So I don't know what his hairline was looking like. So apparently he was like, yo, I need to get fresh for this show tonight. Can you hook me up with getting a cut or whatever? So I'm like, you need me to tap my barber, you know what I'm saying, see what's good? He like, yeah, if you can. So then I end up just calling him. So I'm like, bro, you serious or you joking? He like, nah, I'm dead ass serious. Like, I need to get a haircut for tonight. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me set something up for you. So I'm like, what time are you available? So I set something up, hit up the barber, you know what I'm saying? Tell him like, hey, this is not a joke. Bill Bellamy want to get a haircut. Can you get him in? He like, yeah, tell him to come at this time. So GA like, shit, I'm rolling with you. I ain't got no job. I'm laid off. I ain't got nothing else to do. Like, I'm finna roll with y'all. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we end up going to the barbershop, and this is where the story just gets even crazier. We go to the barbershop, and we sitting there waiting for B to come. And GA is like, yo, you gotta tell Bill what just happened at the station. And I'm like, nah, bro, like, I'm not trying to kill the mood. We got a good vibe going on. Like, there's no way I'm about to tell bro what just happened. Like, I'm focused on performing tonight. And GA is like, nah, man, like, he a part of your story. He was there when it happened. You got to tell him. So I don't really want to tell B what happened, but GA is adamant, like, you got to tell him. So we sitting here waiting, thinking Bill going to get dropped off by like an Uber or his team or somebody going to be with him. Bro, Bill Bellamy, tall, lanky ass, walking down the block by himself. We like, B, what is you on? So he walk up like, this is shop? We like, yeah. He like, all right, cool. So I'm like, hey, after you get your haircut, I got something to tell you. He like, all right, we go in the barbershop. So some people at first recognize who he is, some people not paying attention or whatever. So I tell my barber like, yo, I need you to take care of him, whatever. So Bill in the chair getting lined up or whatever. So one dude walk over like, oh man, I can't remember if he said he named his kid Dre because of the character in the movie or his name, I don't know, whatever. So bro talking to Bill, somebody trying to sell him some food and shit. You know how the barbershop be. Somebody like, I got these pies. I got, Bill like, man, I'm good. So we just chilling. GA sitting there, I'm sitting there, Bill getting cut up. You cannot make this up. While we are in the barbershop, the U.S. Marshals come into the barbershop, like 3 or 4 of them. Hands on hips, hands on guns. They walk in, everybody just stop, conversation silent in the bar. And you know a barbershop loud. I'm talking about you can hear a pin drop. Everybody looking like, what is going on? I'm thinking like, man, I'm gonna have Bill on TMZ. I got this man in here getting chopped up, and here come the damn U.S. Marshals, you know what I'm saying? So they come in, they looking for somebody. We don't know what's going on. So, Bill like, hey, it ain't me. I ain't do shit. So everybody just kind of tense, like, what's going on? Apparently they looking for somebody who work in the shop. We don't know what's going on. I'm just like, man, this is crazy. I got to get Bill up out of here. So Bill finished getting the cut. He just like, bro, what the hell is going on? Where you got me at? I said, hey, man, it's Milwaukee. Anything can happen any time. So we go outside real quick, and I tell Bill about what happened with the radio station. So he's like, bro, like, you lost your job today? I'm like, yeah. So first I blame it on him. I'm like, man, you was acting a fool, dog. You got me canned. He like, what? I'm like, nah, I'm just messing with you, dog. I'm like, it is what it is, man. These people made a decision we don't agree with. They ain't know our culture. They decided to pull the plug and flip our format. It is what it is. So he was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. You got to perform tonight. Like, just lock in, be ready to do your thing. So if you know anything about stand-up comedy, when young comedians or up-and-coming comedians get a chance to open for an established comedian or a veteran or whatever, you typically might get 3 to 5 minutes to kind of show what you can do on an opening set, to see if you're funny or not. So I'm used to that because I've been open for Donnell Rollins and some other cats. So I'm like, B, what you want me to do? Have like 5 ready? And he's like, 5? He like, fool, I can't see if you funny in 5 minutes. Like, you ain't got 10, you ain't got 15. And I'm like, absolutely. I'm just trying to be respectful. He like, nah, man, come with your shit. Do your thing tonight. So again, I'm elated, but I'm like kind of salty at what happened. So we leave the shop or whatever, and me and GA hold it in the entire weekend. We don't tell nobody. So the public has no idea what just happened with our radio station, which was Hot 105.7. People don't know that I lost my show, The Morning Grind with Promise. Like, nobody knows anything. So that weekend, I ended up rocking with Bill on 5 shows. Amazing. 5 sold-out shows. I opened all 5 shows. Bill is giving me advice on what I'm doing good, how I can tweak things, but he's like, yo, you funny, you got good material, like, yo, rock out with us the whole weekend. So I'm booked the whole weekend with him. GA comes to the first show, kick it with us, and the GA ends up coming the last night. And I didn't really want to be backstage talking about what happened because we just having a good vibe, but backstage is T, his manager, Rudy Rush, who a lot of people know who used to host Showtime like the Apollo. He also used to do radio, Tom Joyner or Doug Banks, one of them. And Bill comes to me and says, yo, did you tell Rudy what happened? And I'm like, nah. He like, tell Rudy, he will understand, bro. He did radio for years. And I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to, bring dude down with that energy. I remember watching him on Apollo when I was a kid. And he like, bro, just tell him. So I ended up talking to him, telling him what happened or whatever. And they kind of all giving me encouragement. And the crazy thing is, Bill's manager, T, is like, yo, man, forget it, man. It is what it is. Like, do a podcast. And at the time, my brain is fried, bro. Like, I just lost my job. Like, I had a podcast probably 5-6 years ago. I was doing some stuff like right before COVID and like when COVID first started. So I'm not new to like doing the pod thing, but I was just like, man, I don't know. Like, my brain's scattered, bro. I ain't thinking about nothing right now. I'm just trying to figure things out. So I remember that last night of the show, Bill gave me like just so much energy. He poured into me. He was just like, yo, I don't know why this happened to you while I was in town. I don't know why I was here, but he's like, everything happened for a reason. And he's like, you're going to be fine, though, bro. He was like, no matter what, I think you're going to be fine. I think you got a good head on your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? You got a good energy, a good mentality. You seem like a good dude. He was like, and one day you're going to be able to look back, you're going to be able to laugh at this shit. And he was like, you're just going to have to find a way to turn this pain into humor. Yo, big shout out to Bill Bellamy, man. Always an honor and a pleasure to work with him. Thank you for doing that impromptu, random-ass interview. Hopefully next time he in the city, we can get him in the Yap House to do it at the crib, all right? Getting ready to get up out of here. Before I do, though, I got to always remind you that my sponsorship is from Nicolay Law, Wisconsin's #1 injury attorney. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're injured and you need an attorney, there's only one name you need to know. That's Nicolay. Call them, tap in with them, go to nicolaylaw.com for more details. Make sure you follow us on social media, subscribe, like. Thank you to everybody who listens to the pod. Thank you to those who are watching the pod. We got more in store. The rest of this year is going to be amazing. And before I get up out of here, I want to hit you off with a positive quote. It's something I used to do on my morning show. and it's something that I think I want to bring to the podcast. So my quote for today says, sometimes when things are falling apart, they may actually be falling into place. And trust me, I am truly living proof of that. I've been blessed, and I'm gonna continue to keep grinding and see what's next for me in this next chapter. Appreciate y'all tapping in, and as always, you already know, it's not a threat, it's a promise. It is. Change the battery in that goddamn smoke detector. Oh, I didn't know what, bro. I didn't know what the hell that was. That's why I just kept rolling, cause like, it did, bro. All I heard was "Kite," and I just kept going, cause you know, it was okay. I just kept it going. I'm like, shit happens on the pod. All head, the glasses, the billboards is everywhere in Wisconsin. You get into an injury, you get into an injury. My mama said I could sit on this couch